If you're looking for a secure haven within the literary world, you found the perfect organization. Let's make magic together. Our space is specifically designed for African American authors who are passionate about their writings of films and books. It's a platform to stay informed about industry developments. And on Patreon, we'll share exclusive content, valuable resources, and engaging discussions and masterclasses on various subjects, ranging from film and publishing industry trends to wellness and business tips. So if you're ready to dive into this exciting community, become a member now. Welcome to our literary haven where creativity knows no bounds. Let's make magic together.
Hi guys, my name is Tamika Jameson, formerly Newhouse, and I'm the founder of AAMBC. The acronym stands for African Americans on the Move Book Club. Established in 2008 for the sole purpose of amplifying Black stories and those that tell those stories. In 2025, we are prepared to even amplify our events. We also want to host more events year-round, and so we need your help. From book signings to a literary freedom walk, to festivals, to curating book drives. We are wanting to do it all, so please visit the website aambc.org and learn all about us and donate to us today. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sheri Simmons, and I am going to present to you my workshop on SMART goals for authors. So before I do that, just a little bit about me. I am a native New Yorker who started her author journey in 2011 when I wrote my first book, Tales of the Broken Hearted. Since then, I've written over 25 books to myself and others as a ghostwriter. Goals are a very important part of my journey, and without goals, you won't have a plan. With no plan, you can't expect to go blueprint. So, goal setting is a crucial process that helps individuals achieve success, right? So when you goal set, you're providing yourself with direction, focus, motivation. It helps you to prioritize for those who are procrastinators. It helps you to make informed, clear, concise decisions, and helps you track your progress. So effective goal setting uses SMART goals. So I'm going to go through the whole SMART goal acronym. It increases your success, enhances your confidence and your self-esteem, and you feel a sense of accomplishment because you're able to break down your goals and achieve them piece by piece. So first of all, before you even get to the goal setting part, you need to define what it is that you want for your life, right? You need to sit down and decide where you want to go. So a lot of people say they want to become authors, but then when you ask them and get deeper into the conversation, they don't know what the end goal is. So I like to start with the end goal in mind. What is your end goal? And work backwards from the end goal, right? You also need to have clarity in your goal setting, right? Clarity is what's going to keep you on track when times get tough, and times are going to get tough, right? But the more clarity you have, the easier it is to avoid distractions and stay focused on your goals, right? So I like to call it a clarity checklist, right? You clarify what you want, what you need, list all of your ideas. This is a big one. You might hear this a lot. Discover your big why. Why are you doing whatever it is that you're doing? It can't be because, my parents told me to do so, or it has to be something significant to you and only you, right? And then you're going to learn how to overcome setbacks, because setbacks are going to happen. You should expect them to happen, and you need to know how to overcome them, right? So now we're going to talk about SMART goals. So the first thing we want to talk about when we talk about SMART goals is, again, that is a process. Rome was not built in a day, and neither are your goals going to be built in a day, right? So SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound, right? So that is what the acronym. You are responsible for whether you follow through with the goals you set for yourself. So we're going to start with the S, right? S in SMART stands for specific, meaning that the goal needs to be clear and specific. So I like to tell people, when you set a goal for yourself, steer away from generalized statements such as, I want to lose weight. That's a great goal, but you're not being specific in the goal. So to be specific, you would say, I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. So that's being very specific. So you know that you have 2 months to lose 10 pounds. The more precise you are with the goal, the better it will be. You'll be able to measure, which is what the M stands for, measure your goals to track your progress. We can't track progress with nothing to measure, right? So when we're measuring our progress, you can measure progress with weight loss. You can see how many pounds you lost on the scale, right? So when you step on the scale every day or every week, you'll be able to see whether you're losing weight or you're gaining weight. So one or the other is going to happen, but you're able to measure your success, your progress. Your goal will be easier met if you could access progress along the way, give you more motivation and focus towards your ambition. So when you can measure your goal, you start to see small little accomplishments. Small accomplishments lead to big accomplishments, right? And now we move into the A. So A is for attainable or achievable, either or. Your goals should help stretch you outside your comfort zone and push you to the next level, right? So if we're saying we want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months, is that attainable for you, right? So with that, I like to tell people, be honest with yourself. And to eat healthy, to do everything that needs to be done to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. If the answer is yes, then your goal is fine. If your answer is no, you might need to adjust your goal just a little bit. And instead of 10 pounds, let it be 2 pounds, 5 pounds. All right? It's important that the goals that you set remain achievable. You have to be able to achieve the goal, right? That's the reason why we set the goal, to achieve it. But some of us, we are not realistic with ourselves, which is what the R stands for. We're not realistic. We do things that either we have no business doing or we don't want to do, right? So R stands for relevant, right? Relevant goals are imperative to your success. This means that the goals you set should be important to you and align with your life and other goals you have set. So a lot of new authors, they have irrelevant goals because they want to be all over the place. They want to be New York Times bestseller, Amazon bookseller. They want to do all of these things when in reality, that might not even be a goal that you want to reach, right? Or you might not be able to reach that goal because you don't have the proper distribution channel. You're not marketing correctly. So Goals need to be relevant to you. If you want to have your book in a bookstore, what are the steps to get your book into a bookstore? You need to take. So make sure that when you're making these goals relevant to you, that you are researching. That's another R. Researching your goals, right? And the last part of SMART is T for time deadline to achieve them. This will help you stay on track and focus and give you opportunities to celebrate your small wins. So, time bound means for those of you aspiring authors who are watching, you need to set a goal of when you will be finished with your draft. So, we are in October. It is not reasonable. It is not reasonable expectation to say I'm going to finish the first draft in December. Writing a book takes time. Writing a book is depending on the genre. So some genres can be done faster than others. Writing a book can be a very daunting and isolating process if you do not have a community, a writing community, if you don't have a writing, if you don't have a mentor. It can be very isolating and lonely, right? So now that I told you what SMART stands for, I want to offer all of you an opportunity to use this method to help you with your organization and your focus, right? The SMART goal system works because it lays each step out for you when you're making your goal. So whatever your goals are, your author goals, your personal goals, your business goals, make sure that you're using the SMART goal process. Write down your goals and review them regularly, right? I like to keep post-it notes all over my house. I like to put out whiteboards. I like to put up bulletin board and just stick things up there to remind me that I need to stay on track. Some people, like myself, I mean, to see what we're doing, right? Write down your goals, and as you set them, make the goals more likely happen, right? When we're writing out our goal, it sends a message to our brain that this is something that we want to do, this is something that we need to achieve. You have a better chance of remembering what you wrote when you write it down instead of just simply storing it in our heads, right? So you can put your post-its on your mirror, on your refrigerator, by your bed, wherever you know that you're going to pass by and see what your goals are. So this presentation has an accompanying workbook, and in the workbook, you're able to have spaces to write what your goals are. So now I'm going to break down even more each acronym, right? So being specific is the starting point for success. You need to make it very clear what you want to happen in your career, your business, your personal life, right? So for example, I will go to the gym for 45 minutes every morning before going to work. That plan is very specific because they're telling themselves, before I go to work, I need to go to the gym for 45 minutes, right? So there's 5 questions you should be asking yourselves when you are setting your goals, right? Who is going to be involved with your goal? Is it just going to be you? Is anyone else a decision maker? Do you have a partner? Are you collaborating with other people? So who is going to be involved? What exactly do I want to accomplish? So this may be a tricky part, especially for people who are aspiring authors who may not know a lot about the publishing industry. So I strongly suggest for you to do your research and your due diligence, right? So what exactly do you want to accomplish? We know that you want to accomplish writing a book. We know that. But what else do you want to do after you publish your book? When do you want to accomplish your goal? The when is very important because there are other external factors that will occur in publishing your book, such as editing your book cover, your formatting. All of these things are going to be included in the time frame, right? So you need to account for that time frame when you set your goal. So again, 2 months to publish a book is not reasonable for a person who does not already have an editor, a book designer, and all these things already in place. The next question to ask yourself is, where will you achieve this goal? Right? Where are you going to achieve this goal? So for writing books, where are you going to do this at? Are you going to do this with a group? Are you going to do this, by yourself? Are you going to use a ghostwriter? Where are you going to achieve this goal? Are you going to utilize a publisher? Are you going to self-publish? These are the things that you need to be asking yourself, right? And the last question is, why is this goal important to me? Why do you want to write this book? What do you want to accomplish with writing your book? And again, the answer to that question is not the money, because money's great and all, but as an author and first-time authors, expecting money to just fall in your lap is unrealistic. So that was being specific. So now measurable, right? How do you measure your progress? If you don't have a way to tell if you're making progress, you won't know. In order to keep going and stay motivated, you need to see how far you come. So a measurable goal for new inspiring authors is word count. So you can estimate your word count for your book. So I like to ask new authors, how many pages do you want your book to be? Most new authors estimate around 150 pages. So that would be about 30, 40,000, 50,000 words. So therefore, you're going to take the 50,000, let's just say, and how many words do you want to write in a month? Divide the number into months, weeks, days, and you can see how much you accomplish in a day, in a week, in a month, right? And this is how you stay motivated to continue writing your book. But if you don't do this is why most people don't finish their books, because they don't know where the progress is at, right? So there's more questions you need to ask yourself when you are measuring your progress. How many words do I need to write in a day, month, week? How much is you need to know how much is required for your novel, your novella, your short. So some people like to write shorts, some people like to write novellas, some people like to write novels. So what are you writing? And what is the maximum or minimum word count for your project? And what is the indicator of your progress? So when do you know that you're finished, right? You might not reach the 50,000 word count, but if you finish the book, the goal is to finish the book, right? So that's being measurable, right? So in the book, there's a lot of quarterly goals and tracking progress. This book is available on my website from Pain to Purpose LLC.com. So now we're going to talk about achievable, right? Achievable and goal setting. Be sure again to select the goal that's achievable to you. The goal should be within your reach and exciting enough to motivate you to achieve it, but not so far out of your comfort zone that you give up before you even get started. So a lot of new authors do not anticipate the fact that they need to talk to people to sell books. That should be a given, but a lot of new authors who are introverted, they don't want to talk to people. They won't want to do the necessary things to sell a book. Well, If you're not willing to do that, then maybe being an author is not um, a goal for you right now. You have to be able to speak to your readers. You have to be able to market your product because it is your product, right? Celebrate your success along the ways. If you don't do that, you're going to lose all your motivation and you're going to give up. So I like to tell people set a goal that you can accomplish so you keep focused and motivated. Write down your goals. One thing you can do to ensure success is set milestone goals. So milestone goals are smaller goals from your bigger goal. So for example, we're going to talk about if we want to read a book. If you set a goal of reading a book for 20 minutes every night, check in with yourself once a week to see how many pages, the total amount of pages you wrote. So sometimes we have to read a book for a class or for a project or whatever, and we're like, how can I finish this book in a month? If you divide the pages and read for either 20 minutes or read 2 chapters, however you want to divide the book, you can get the book done in 30 days or even less, right? So this page in the book talks about achievable goals. You put a start date, end date, what's your deadline, how long you're going to take, and any action steps. Action steps are the things that you need to do to make your goals happen. So we're going to talk about now relevancy in your goals. When we're doing that, we need to figure out why we're doing something. This part is extremely important and makes sure the goal is important to you, not your father, not your mother, not your family, to you. When you try to reach a goal that doesn't really make sense to you or something that you don't want to do, you're not going to complete it. You're going to be miserable, right? Your goal should move you forward towards something important if your goal is important. So here's some more questions to get you started with your relevant goal. Is your goal worthwhile? Do you really want to write this book? Is it the genre that you want to write in? Do you have anyone to read your book? Do you know who your audience is? Does your book align with your other efforts and goals? So some people want to, like myself, be motivational speakers or facilitators. So does your book align with that goal? Do you want to, so this is mainly for self-help writers. Do you want to facilitate groups? Do you want to join book club discussions? What do you want to do? And does your book align with that goal? Is this the right time for your goal? Right? Is writing a book going to fit in with your personal goals? Does it make sense financially? Because a lot of times it's the financial part that gets people stuck. Writing a book takes some finances. But I always tell authors that it's free to start, right? You got a pen and a pad, use that. You got a phone, use that. You have a laptop, PC, whatever you have, use that. So while you're writing, that is absolutely something you can do without any fees. But you need to understand that writing a book comes with expenses, right? And then you need to ask yourself, do you have the skills and ability for completing your book on your own? And if you do not, who can help you achieve your goal? So some people, they are book cover designer. They can design their own book cover. Or some people are multi-skilled in other areas where they don't need to utilize a company because they have editors in their family, they have graphic designers. So they don't need to think about who they're going to get to help them out. They just concentrate on their book and then pass it on. So these are questions you need to ask yourself about your relevant goal, right? So the last one is time and SMART goals. Setting goals for what comes next is a great way to help you keep staying on track, right? So for example, if you put off cleaning out your closet, like I do, setting a goal for when you'll get it done will help motivate you to get it started. Sometimes I set goals for spring cleaning and never get it done. So my spring cleaning is fall cleaning. But you guys get the gist of what I'm saying. Set a time frame of when you're gonna get it done. So we know that spring, all the seasons last roughly about 3.5 months. So if you're doing spring cleaning, you have 3.5 months to clear the closet. So that's your timeline. But you guys need to be realistic with your deadlines, right? You need to set your deadlines and schedule time to work on them in your calendar. So for the visual people, you can utilize a Google Calendar, a paper calendar, a whiteboard calendar. I have so many calendars up and around my house. I use my phone. I use paper calendars. I need to see what I'm doing. So if you need to see stuff, then you need to write it down everywhere. So if you know that you have a word count goal due at the end of the week, but you haven't had any time to work on it, set your alarms, set an appointment in your phone saying it's time to write. That's what I do. It'll be a reminder, right? Goals give us something to strive for, a reason to continue our efforts when we might otherwise give up. They keep us on track and help us maintain our momentum. Momentum is important because once you lose your momentum, everything starts going downhill. So we know how when the plane is going on the runway, it picks up speed. So that's going to be you. And then once it's going down, it goes going down. You don't want to be going down. You want to stay on a balanced level, right? So quick recap. Specific means what do I want to happen? Measurable means how will I know when I achieve my goal? Obtainable means is your goal realistic and how will I accomplish it? Relevant, why is my goal important to me? Timely, what is my deadline for this goal? So if you are a person that wants to do weekly goals, I don't do weekly goals, I do monthly ones. So you can write whatever week it is, the date, prioritize your goals for the week, write down each goal, write down your action steps, put a to-do list, and then some notes about what you need to do. So that's how you would set up your weekly goals. Then you can also set up your goals into short-term and long-term goals. So short-term goals are anything that can happen within probably the next 6 months. So we can have a goal for next month. Um, Next month is November. Then you can have for next year, which is January, like that. So list your action steps of what you need to do every 2 months. And then long-term goals. So long-term goals are things that you're not able to do at the moment. So as a new and inspired author, a long-term goal would be doing a maybe doing a podcast, because there's things you have to do to get in position to do that. Another long-term goal would be attending a big writers conference like Black Writers Weekend. So attending these conferences as authors is a different experience than being a reader, right? You have to prepare yourself. So long-term goal is something that you have to literally prepare yourself in more than one way. So for a writer's conference, you will prepare yourself. Your book needs to be done, obviously. You need to be able to have your business cards. You need to have all of your material ready. So these things take time to prepare. So that's why it's a long-term goal. Then we can do some brainstorming. So brainstorming looks like, what is your goal? What do I need to stop doing? What do I need to do less? What do I need to keep doing? What do I need to do more of? What do I need to start doing? So some of aspiring authors that I meet, they need to stop sharing and just posting their book covers, because that's all we see is your book cover. You keep posting your book cover and your link. So stop doing that, or do less of that. Now you need to start building a brand. So that's a whole different conversation. But brainstorming can be, what do I want my brand to look like? How do I want to show up on social media, right? How do I want my readers and followers to see me? How will I engage with my followers? So again, social media marketing and being on social media looks different for everybody. Some people, I love to do videos and reels. Some people don't like that. They like to post pictures. Other people like to do blogs. So how will you show up in the social media space for your readers and your followers, right? So that's called brainstorming. And when I say social media, it's not just limited to TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. There's also YouTube. Also, you can use Discord. I have a Discord group. Any group that has a community of people that can join your process. You can also do yearly goals. So you would divide your um 12 months, and then you start listing all the things that you want in each particular month. Focus goals are goals where you put your action steps with your small goals, and then you say, for week 1 I'm going to do this, week 2 I'm going to do that, week 3 I'm going to do that, week 4. So you can see a whole month in a smaller version. Then we can start. You can also do a wish list, right? What do you wish to do? What activities do you wish to do? So these are things like, I wish to start a YouTube channel. How do you start your YouTube channel? Do some research on that. I want to make more videos. So how do you make more videos? What kind of content are you going to produce? Are you going to collaborate with anyone? You can also write a success plan. So a success plan would be breaking your big goal into 3 mini goals. So if your goal is to become a published author, how do you do that, right? Well, first thing would be, one of the mini goals would be about your first draft. Writing my first draft would be one of the mini goals. Or if it's smaller, we can say, I'm writing my first book. What do I need to do first? So one mini goal could be writing an outline. Outlines are not for everyone, so if writing an outline makes you comfortable, do that. If it does not, find an alternative. So your first mini goal would be to write your outline. Your outline is letting you know what you want to be in your book, how many chapters, what goes in each chapter. Your second mini goal would be to draft the first 5 chapters, or the first 10 chapters. The last mini goal would be to finish the draft. So do you see how you broke down, I want to write my first draft? We broke it into 3. Complete your outline, do your first half of the book, and then do the second half. So by breaking down your goal, you can work seamlessly on your manuscript without the stress of, oh my god, time is flying by, I have writer's block. And also putting in time and deadline, you can account for writer's block, because it does happen, and you can leave space for, you need to take a break for a week, you still have the 30 days to get something done. So I noticed that a lot of people, this is what they do when it's time. They'll say, oh, I want to write 5,000 words in a week. So there's 7 days in a week, 5,000 words. You could take as many breaks as you want and skip as many days as you want. That doesn't mean that the 5,000 words do not have to be done. If you take a break or you skip a day, you still have to account for the 5,000 words total for the week. So I usually like to tell people 10x that behavior. So if you've missed the whole day, then you need to 10x that behavior. So that means that if you wrote 1,000 for one day, you skipped a day, you need to do 2 to 3,000 to make up for that day. So you can skip as many days as you want, but you still need to complete the goal. So that's how you make mini goals, right? If you follow the steps outlined in the SMART goals for authors roadmap that I gave you, you can set goals and break free from negative thoughts about yourself. You can reprogram your mindset and become a high performer in reaching your goals. Use your goals as a source of inspiration and to help you get where you want to go in life. It is important to keep going and not let these short-term setbacks stop you from achieving your life's most important goals. Anyone can achieve their goals. It only takes a lot of small steps and a lot of motivation to achieve your goals. So I want to thank everyone for participating in this presentation. So for me, I just want to share some examples of SMART goals for myself. When I first started writing my book, I had no idea what I was doing. So for me, an author's community, and I did that on Facebook. So Facebook is a good source for finding groups. There are tons of groups on Facebook that you can join to be connected to other writers, right? So through that, finding writers on Facebook, I was able to meet someone to help me get my first book published. I was able to make some friends, and a lot of things just started coming about just from that initial being specific about what I wanted, right? So there's also something more important that people need to understand. Goals should not be set in stone. You are able to change and adjust your goals as your circumstances change. Your circumstances are not always going to be the same. Things happen. So be flexible enough to adjust and revise your goals as things happen, right? So the last part of my presentation, I want everyone to understand SMART goals require discipline and not motivation, commitment. So people tend to think that discipline and motivation go together. They do in a sense, but they don't. You're not always going to be motivated to do things every day. But if you discipline yourself, you will be able to do the things that you don't want to do to get to the end of your game and your goals. If your goal is to finish your first book, you need to discipline yourself and commit to writing a page a day, a chapter a day, whatever it is reasonable to you. That's what you need to commit to, and that's what you need to discipline yourself to do. So thank you for joining me. My name again is Sheri Simmons, and I am very grateful to have the pleasure to give you this presentation, and I hope everyone has a good night. Thank you.
You are representing everybody that is you. I represent being able to find the light at the end of the tunnel.
You gotta really be in it and really enjoy it and really want it.
And I feel like if you come into it like that day one, man, you unstoppable.
That shows people it's possible, my people, that it's possible.
And that is so necessary in a world of misinformation. This is a legacy effort.